Hello everyone, it is I, Ryan, also known as thelovebat. And so I'm back once again for sort of a double-header decker. That's not really intended to be like a rhyme or anything like that, but I am going in again for another Magic the Gathering Arena draft sort of video. And so, gonna get back in here after the previous one did not go so well. I figured, you know what? I'm gonna go in again and of course, these were some decks I showed off in some previous videos with Clerics and Dragons. That was back when those decks were legal for standard play, which they are no longer now, but fun videos all the same. So we're going to go back in for another Kamigawa video. Since I think that Brothers War is still going to be going on for a little bit longer, I figured that, you know what, I'll just dive in with Kamigawa while it's still in the sort of legacy format sort of rotation here. And do it while it's still here, and then later I can maybe do a Brothers War draft if I get enough gold coins or gems or something like that for one of those. So let's go in again and hope that this goes better than our 03 Samurai Warrior deck that we did last time that did not turn out so well. So, alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and wait here for the queue to sort of fill up with players, and I will be back when everything is filled with the players. Alright, unpausing awaits. Now we have everyone here. Let's dive on in and get more Kamigawa going on in the house. See what kind of deck that we can make work this time. Hopefully it's better than my last one that we went 03 on. Alright, so we definitely have some options here. There are some invoke cards, like invoke something something based on each color. This is the white one. This is a very specialized sort of card, and it's probably better for mono white and constructed play, so I'm not going to worry about taking a 4 white card. We do have some good, decent ninjas here. We have the Silver Fur Master, and then the Silencer, which is decent 2-drop ninja, but maybe not as good as other ninjas that can ninjutsu for 2, but it's still decent. And then we also have the Twisted Embrace, which is good removal for black and ninjas. What else we have here? Wanderer's Intervention is maybe a good sideboard card against like aggro decks and best of 3. Iron Apprentice is good for the red-black artifact sacrifice type deck synergies. Rabbit Battery is very good for any red sort of artifact heavy deck or aggro deck. But yeah, I'm going to take the Silver Fur Master and see if we can try and make a ninja deck work this time in sort of blue-black. Okay, so we also have some options here. Okiba Reckoner Raid is a very good sort of aggro-heavy card, and ninjas tend to be pretty aggressive decks. There are some... Silver Fur Master does work with it because it does give a buff to rogues as well. So rogues can actually get pumped by some of the ninja cards and can be good synergies with the ninjas. So technically it's like rogue ninjas, but it's mainly ninjas. This is also a ninja that we could hope to get on the wheel for the Inkrise Infiltrator. Flies, can pump, can ninjutsu and fly over the top and get something stronger out to deal damage and for a cheap mana cost. Sunblade Samurai, as I said in the last video, very good enchantment samurai. Same with the Sky Blessed Samurai. Both are good in enchantment or samurai type decks. Intercessor's Arrest is good removal here. Careful Cultivation, good ramp and modification going on. And then this, also another modification, can turn a land into a creature. So some decent stuff here. Shrine Steward down there is good for the Shrine sort of deck with the legendary Shrine enchantments. Okay, so we have some more options here, and we have Dismal Blackwater, which is a very good sort of mana fixing type card, especially for blue-black, obviously. Leech Gauntlet is good for any sort of artifact deck, but it also gives lifelink, and so you could potentially, you know, give sort of reconfigure this on a bigger creature and then have it gain you a bunch of life. It's also a decent 2-drop, 2/2 with lifelink, and an artifact as well for artifact synergies. Dockside Chef is maybe the best card here. 1-drop you can get out on turn 1. It's an enchantment, so the enchantment synergies are there. Good for a red-black sacrifice deck. It's also good for the red-black steal and sacrifice type deck as well. I mean, I'm okay just taking the Dockside Chef. Dismal Backwater will probably wheel I'm not sure if it's the best dual land for splashing things, as far as I know, for the colors there. Okay, so we know there's already Captain, like what we saw in our last draft. This is a very good card, but it's more of a curve topper, where you curve out on turn 1, turn 2, maybe turn 3 or 4, and then you play this out on like turn 5 or 6, depending, and then hopefully you get in there for aggression to end the game. I think I'm going to take the Mukotai Ambusher here. It's a very good ninja card. Ninjutsu's for 2, so if you can get out, say a 1-drop on the play, attack in with it, then you ninjutsu turn 2 for this, and you get it attacking already. Very good sort of curve out there. So technically we could attack in with Dockside Chef on turn 2 if we're on the play, then ninjutsu for this for 2, and it's a very good synergy that we have going on. Azusa's Many Journeys, good for the enchantment deck, good decent Saga card, Imperial Oath, and then Repel the Vile is a good sideboard card in best of 3. Also playable in the main deck if you feel like you're going to encounter stuff that could sort of overrun your deck. Hotshot Mechanic is more of a very specialized sort of card. It is a 1-drop creature that is like aggro. But it's again for a blue-white sort of vehicle themed deck, and maybe better in constructed than in limited draft formats. So Thirst for Knowledge is decent, and we do have one artifact already with the Ambush, or not that I would want to discard it, but there are some synergies in sort of blue-black with discarding an artifact or a cheap artifact that you might have. It's also good in like red or red-blue artifacts as well, to discard a cheap artifact like a Simian Sling or a 1-drop or 2-drop red sort of artifact card. There was some good red in there, like Kami's Flare is good removal, but I think I want to stick with blue and black for now since we have some good stuff in here already. The Modern Age is pretty good here. We can rummage for things that we want and need. It's a good sort of blocking creature to stave off some aggression in case we need some time to find some cards for the 2/3 flying creature at the end. Nothing else much for us here. Simian Sling is sort of, again, an artifact creature that can be sacrificed to like a Voltage Surge, and for any of the sort of red-black sacrifice artifact decks. Ninja's Kunai. Halfway decent removal here, and it is colorless, but I think I want to go with the Modern Age and rummage for things that we need. So I could take the Puzzle Maker here. It's not a rogue or a ninja. We could also take this to maybe splash for red, because we can tap this and attack in with it since it's a flying creature, then ninjutsu out, and we still scry with it, because when it attacks it becomes tapped, which is good for the ninja decks. We haven't really, like, there are some good red-black cards that, you can splash for a red card that aren't really ninjas, but are good for splashing because they're powerful, like some of the rares and mythic rares. But I think I'm going to go with the Puzzle Maker for now, and just take that. It's the best for our current deck that we have going on right now. Nothing here for the most part that we... I guess Malicious Malfunction can be decent removal, I suppose. All creatures get -2/-2. Like, it's more of a sideboard card. Most of our creatures die from it, but if we need to clear the board, then it's probably still worth having. We don't have anything else in here that's really worth taking for our deck, so we'll just take that and see if it makes the cut. Nothing really here. I guess there's Spell Pierce. Not really what I'm looking for, though. There isn't much in this pack in general, I guess, so we'll just go and take Spell Pierce, I guess. Sunblade Samurai made it all the way around. I guess I'll just take the Shrine Steward, and maybe I'll end up with some shrines at some point, or some aura cards like a Twisted Embrace. Twisted Embrace is technically an aura, so you can find it with find that with Shrine Steward. I think I'm just going to take this because it's the best card here for the vault. And I guess another Shrine Steward is okay if we find some shrines. I guess technically this could make the cut, but not likely. It's not necessarily great. And lots of these Guardians of Oboro that nobody wants. Okay, so what do we have now? We have the Black Shrine, which we could play. We have 2 Shrine Stewards already, so we could get that. Okiba Reckoner Raid would also be good for our deck in the Hyper Aggro. Teachings of the Kirin, again, like I said, I think in the last draft that I did, this is also another good enchantment card for green-white. Same for the Norica. That can get you back some enchantments, so it's good in the Samurai deck. You can get you back like the Exemplar 2-drop Samurai Exemplar cards, and you can get them back into your get them back. So very, very good card for the Samurais and enchantments. I think I'll just go with the Shrine here since we have some Shrine Stewards. And an Intercessor's Arrest and Bolted Surge are good removal. Maybe we can wheel the Reckoner Raid if we're lucky. Alright, another Dockside Chef. Assassin's Ink is removal. Trying to figure out how many artifacts. So a decent number of artifacts and enchantments. But we don't have like any like low mana artifacts that I think we would want to sacrifice to the Dockside Chef though. Reinforced Ronin is good for both artifact and samurai decks. You can play it over and over again. There's like a 2-drop artifact creature, I think, that can get a +1/+1 each time you play a non-token artifact or something. So that's very good for that deck, for the Reinforced Ronin. I think I'm going to go for the Assassin's Ink. It's removal. And so we do have a number of artifacts and enchantments already to make it cheaper, so it's decent enough. And then there's the Invoke card there that we're not going to play. Generous Visitor. Man, another Generous Visitor. Do I want to try and pivot into green-white sort of enchantment type stuff and then maybe splash for the Go Shintai, the Shrine there? Because there's nothing in blue or black for us that can do much. Like we have a Moonstare Specialist, which is decent but not great. Hoverbike is good for the Ninja deck, but I mean the signals are there that green-white enchantments could be open. The Sunblade Samurai wheeled from the last pack, so I'm gonna go out on a limb here and see if I can pivot into green-white if it shows up here in the cards. So we're going to go with the Moon Circuit Hacker. This is a good sort of low mana, sort of ninja card. Kind of regretting passing up some halfway decent ninja card or ninja deck cards there, but if the signs are there, you have to kind of keep your options open to pivot early on in pack 2 potentially. So yeah, there's nothing else much here. I guess Careful Cultivation is good for the enchantment deck and is an aura they can find with the Shrine Stewards as well. But yeah, I'm going to go with the Moon Circuit Hacker. It's a good ninja card for us. Excuse me. Let's see. Well, there is another ninjutsu card here, and it does get a good bit cheaper with ninjutsu. And we have... that has Menace. That has Flying. And that has Death Touch. Alright, so we get some more flying type ninjas or flying creatures so we can easily or more easily get this in there. So I think that's probably our pick. Not much else in here. Mnemonic Sphere is good for artifact type decks and it's just decent card draw. That pack was a bit on the weaker side. Keep a Reckoner Raid, another good aggro card. Happy to take that. I guess the green-white kind of dried up there. Intercessor's Arrest is also good for the green-white enchantment deck because it is an enchantment and it is removal. It's not very good against the red-black sacrifice decks, so in best of 3 you might swap it out for other kinds of removal or cards, but I'm going to go with the Reckoner Raid here. It's another, going 2 on those is very good turn 1 sort of aggro type stuff going on. So Short Circuit is somewhat removable, but not really. Not really what I want to take here. Mnemonic Sphere is decent card draw. I guess Guidebot is something that we can play, and like, do we have other ways to modify here? Not really. We don't really have many ways to modify, so I'm not really sure if this is what we want to get. So I'm just going to go with the Mnemonic Sphere. And I guess we can take the Moonsnare Specialist now that we know we're going to just try and stick with the plan of black-blue ninjas here, so we can ninjutsu this on turn 3. Maybe even turn 4 if we want to play the Puzzle Maker first, then attack, scry, ninjutsu this in to attack with it. Yeah, so let's just stick with that. And then the green enchantments roll around for the green enchantment deck. After I pass up on going green-white to pivots, we suddenly find this thing wheels, and it's a very good enchantment card to sort of buy you time. We aren't really a modification deck, so I'm not going to take the Skyscraper. It's not really good for our decks, so Skyscraper is great, but you need to have like either artifact synergies or ways to make it cheaper or ramp into it, or have ways of getting +1/+1 counters or equipments, reconfigure, things like that. I guess we'll just take this. Probably not going to make the deck, but don't think that we take a second Kato's Pursuit, but we get another one anyway, so might as well take it. None of these really matter. I'll just take the trainee here. Take the uncommon for the vault here. Okay, so the second pack did not work out the way that I'd hoped it would, but maybe they just didn't have any sorts of ninja type cards in them to really be able to pick for the most part. Okay, so Searchlight Companion is actually pretty decent for the blue-black ninja deck. You can ninjutsu this out, then play it again and get another token. So that's actually not bad. This is a very strong effect, but you need like mana fixing for that, and we don't really have any. So I don't know if we can really play this. It's a very strong card, and I'd love to have it. Seismic Wave is good removal that can sometimes be like a board sweeper. Mini board sweeper for low curve artifacts and stuff. I'm going to take the Companion. I don't know if it's right. There's another shrine here as well in green, but we have no ways to splash for it. Unfortunately, I just don't think that we can muster up 4 blue to be able to play that Invoke card there. So we have another Shrine card here, but we don't really have any way to splash for it. That's the thing. We can't really splash for it because we don't have any of the dual lands to do it. I think that I think early in the draft we passed up on the red-black dual land, and if we had that, then maybe. The Long Reach of Night. It's probably a good card for us. It's not exactly an on-curve sort of aggro deck kind of card, but as a curve topper, they either have to get rid of a creature or they have to discard a card after they played a bunch of stuff, so that could potentially be good for us here. Network Disruptor is pretty good for the ninja deck here, so I think I'm going to take this. It's a rogue. It gets buffed up by the Silver Fur Master. It flies, 1-drop. You can attack with it turn 2, then ninjutsu something out on turn 2, like the, where is it, the Mukatai Ambusher, for example, or anything that ninjutsus for 2. Even potentially the Silver for Master, you can ninjutsu on turn 2 for it. Thirst for Knowledge would be decent here for us as well. More card draw, card advantage. Mirror Shell Crab in some decks would make sense, and also channels for the counterspell ability. Alright, well, we have Circuit Mender here, which we faced in our previous draft video that I did. It's a strong card for the ninjutsu type deck. How many ninjas do we even have, though? We have 5. It's not terrible, but we really want to try and find some more here in this final pack. Moon Circuit Hacker is a good one. And then we have Silver for Master, Mukutai Ambusher. We have the big Ogre Ninja. And then the, the Specialist. And then we have a couple of flying creatures that can get in over the top. All right. So yeah, I think we're in okay shape, but not great shape now, but we'll see what happens here. We have not much of anything. This is decent for artifact decks, but otherwise it's just unexciting. Moonsnare Prototype can potentially ramp you, but not really what I'm looking for. Brute Suit is decent, but not really something you want to ninjutsu out. I think I'll just go ahead and take the counterspell here. I don't think I'm going to play the Brute Suit. It's true that you can crew the Brute Suit with like a Network Disruptor or any of the 1/1 creatures that you might get, but... Alright, so another Moonstare Specialist is okay for us. Another Ninja. Allows us to ninjutsu things in and out, and we have a couple creatures to do that with. Searchlight Companion, Circuit Mender are both good for that. So, Discover the Impossible is more of a, again, specialized sort of card. Not going to fit in every deck. A Jonjo or a Gonjo is pretty good for most white decks. Sort of free for the deck kind of value there, but not in our colors. I guess we'll take the Terrarium in case one of the cards that we could think about splashing goes on the wheel, like one of the Shrine cards that we passed up on. This can potentially splash for it. We can dig up a land for it. Marishall Crab is like the only other consideration here, so we'll take this for splashing purposes. Acquisition Octopus. Player. Okay, well, this is actually not bad. We can get in over the top of like a Network Disruptor or a, what is it, the Puzzle Maker here that flies. Anything that we ninjutsu in there, we can just do that with. Maybe a couple of flying creatures to take advantage of this, so not bad. I guess we'll just take the uncommon card for the vault here. I'm trying to drag... For fuck's sake! I'm trying to drag this over and it doesn't do it. Come on. I'll just confirm the pick then. Yes, at least I had the button open to confirm the pick. Uncharted Haven for splashing if we wheel like a Shrine or something. Don't think that we wheeled any of them, so we'll just take the uncommon for the vault. We'll just take another uncommon for the vault. Take the blue card, why not? I guess technically this is a rogue, but I'm not going to play it, I don't think. And okay. So the deck, it's okay, but not great. It didn't get as many ninjas as I was hoping for, like a ninjutsu. So it did not turn out the way that I had hoped. If I had not taken the Generous Visitor there and gotten like the hover bike or something, that would have been a lot better, obviously, for ninjutsu value. And we didn't wheel any of the shrines, so that's unfortunate. So that means Terrarium is going to go. We'll get rid of one Shrine Steward here, maybe even both of them. This isn't Enter the Battlefield effect, so it's not that bad for ninjutsu, but how many auras or shrines do we really have? We have one shrine, the Black Shrine, and 0 aura cards. So yeah, 2/2 Death Toucher for 4 mana is not that good. We only have 1 aura. I don't think that the Goshen Tai is going to be good enough here for our deck. And then that means that Shrine Steward doesn't have any targets, so we'll get rid of that as well. Kind of a low creature count, which is unfortunate, but we're going to have to make do here. Guess we do have the Trespassers, which is a rogue and gets pumped by the Silver Fur Master. So this is something that can allow us to get in there with some of our ninjas and stuff like that, but I'm not sure if I want to play it. It is a creature and channel ability all in one, so I'll consider it, I guess. Octopus is good for some of the flying type creatures that we have. We don't want 2 counter spells here. I'll take one of those out. We don't really have many artifacts. I mean, we do have a good amount of artifacts, but most of them are creatures anyway, I think. If not all of them. Searchlight Companion is a good sacrifice fodder for it. But the tokens that it makes are spirit tokens and not like artifacts, so you can't like sacrifice the tokens and then play this out again after ninjutsuing it out. This is an artifact that goes well with Dockside Chef, I suppose. I mean, I guess technically you can just sacrifice a creature. You don't have to sacrifice it doesn't have to be an artifact creature. So I guess, yeah, the spirit tokens do actually work there. I stand corrected. I correct myself on that one. Yeah, because the 1/1 tokens are creatures, and so you can sacrifice them to Dockside Chef. Same with Spirit Mender, you can sacrifice it and draw a card as well. So again, ninjutsu this in on maybe turn 2 with a Network Disruptor. And then you can draw a card, which means maybe Mnemonic Sphere. Maybe not as necessary to play 2 of them. So what card draw do we have? We have Moon Circuit Hacker, we have the Dockside Chef, and then we have 1 Thirst for Knowledge. Yeah, so we have a couple of ways for card draw and card advantage. Disruption Protocol might be necessary here because if the opponent has like a bomb card that they get out later in the game, then this might be necessary to just counter something that's huge, basically. And we do have some artifacts still. We have 7. So we have 7 artifacts to maybe tap down and then counter something with if we need to do that. And then, I guess Modern Age. Modern Age is another way to draw cards. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reliable ways. What's the final cut here? Do I want to go 6 or 16 lands? I don't think the 17 is necessary. I think that we just get rid of the tapped land here. I don't think that we need Uncharted Haven. And then we'll play 16 lands because we are a bit more aggro, lower curve for the most part. We have lots of 3-drops granted, but we can ninjutsu things in there for less mana, like the Ambusher. And then the Ogre as well. So I think that 16 lands works here because we only have 1 card that's higher than 5 mana. Assassin's Ink can be cheaper. And then Disruption Protocol can stay at 2 mana if we tap something. This can ninjutsu in. And we have plenty of card draw, so we don't want to draw lands and flood out, so 16 lands is probably better. And we don't want a tapped land because then we get off curve a bit more. Because we want to play this turn 1 or this turn 1 ideally. Even Reckoner Rate turn 1 is pretty awesome, so not having a tapped land in there to affect our curve is going to be good. Yep, I think this is going to have to do. I mean, it's still a decent deck, don't get me wrong, but we don't really have any bomb cards in here. Like, we did pass some bombs the 4 blue Invoke card would have been good for this deck, and it would have been a bomb card, but 4 blue is very hard to get if you don't have fixing, and at the time that we were in the draft, we didn't have the Enchanted Haven, we didn't have the Terrarium at the time, so we just didn't have the fixing that we would have needed at the time to get 4 blue mana there. So black, blue, well, how do you spell ninjutsu again? Sorry. Ninjutsu. Okay. Ninjutsu action. Number 1. Alright. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Alright, I'm trying to adjust the name of the deck here, and it's not letting me. Okay. Alright, well, this will have to do, and I'm hoping that we can make it work here, and hopefully we don't go 0-3 like we did in the previous deck with the Samurai Warriors, which is a theme that I like a lot in this set, but you're not going to win them all, even with a decent deck, so we'll see how this one goes, and I will see you for round 1. Alrighty. Ding ding, round 1 with Trago as our opponent. Alright, well this is a very good opening hand. Network Disruptor turn 1, and then Silver Fur Master and Ninjutsu turn 2. And then this could be okay if we lose like the board state and things get out of control. We can do a board sweeper to just like reset the board, and then down the line we can ninjutsu this in as well with the Network Disruptor. Alright, so well, we can still attack in with the Network Disruptor next turn, I'm betting. So, or we can do Reckoner Raid first. Yeah, maybe we just Reckoner Raid first here, since we're not going to be able to get in there the same way now. They can attack into us, or they can block us, so we'll just go with the Reckoner Raid instead. It's possible that they could ninjutsu their own card in here, but it's more likely that they're part of a red-blue artifact deck with these. Okay, so I guess now we want to go with... I guess we just hard cast the Silver Fur Master now, I would think. Granted, they could have some red removal for it, but if they have removal for it, it's probably going to die at some point. So, and if they have removal for it, then it keeps the Shadow Walker alive a bit longer. Searchlight Companion. Could even ninjutsu this out as well and get the Ogre in there for some damage. I think I'm going to put this out there. I could have waited to do that next turn and then attack in with the Road Captain and maybe ninjutsu, but... Okay, well, let's see here. So what I'd like to do is, let's go ahead and do this, and we'll attack with both. The Road Captain has Menace, so they would have to double block that. And then I think we want to ninjutsu the Shadow Walker in and trade our Network Disruptors. Then we can play the Okiba Reckoner Raid one more time and do some more aggro damage to them. Never mind. Looks like the crab was able to counter the ability that we were doing, so... But at the very least, we don't have the Shadow Walker go to our graveyard, so we still have it in hand. Let's just do this. Play the Reckoner Raid again. And then I think we just hard cast Moonstare Specialist and get rid of the Mnemonic Sphere. I guess never mind. It's a creature, not permanent. So I think we'll just do this anyway, though, since they are kind of screwed on lands. So having to play their Network Disruptor again kind of screws up their plan a little bit. Looks like they're going to try and fish for some land. Okay, so this can trade with our Moonstare Specialist if they want. Let's go ahead and offer up the trade here and see what they do. Very well. We want ninjutsu and do the thing. It's one more turn where we don't get the Searchlight Companion out there, but at the very least we have a big creature out there now, which is not going to be easy to get rid of with red removal. Red removal usually caps out at 4 damage unless you have the Flame Discharge that they used. They can potentially do more. Okay, and then next turn we can potentially ninjutsu the Road Captain again and just keep on playing it, so what do we want to do? They could chump block here, and that's perfectly acceptable. I could also malicious malfunction and just get rid of their board and attack in there. I mean, I don't mind getting rid of my own Road Captain here. Let's just do malicious, or a weak. I think we have to just do that. Yeah, let's just do it pre-combat here. Clear the board. Attack in. And we're going to keep that in our hand for now. Because they don't have a creature out there, so might as well keep it in our hand, and we can return one of their creatures to their hand after they play it. And they kind of have to play something here because they have 2 little life not to. Okay, Puzzle Maker's a decent blocker, but not great. The Long Reach of Night, on the other hand, kind of screws up that plan because they have to sacrifice unless they want to discard a card. We have 7 mana, this will be 4 mana, then we can ninjutsu this for 3. Yeah, let's do this. Let's see if they want to sacrifice a creature here. Let's do it before combat. So they get to play that card this turn. Yeah, but it has to have flash or something like that to make a difference, so let's attack in with the Shadow Walker here. They could jump if they want to. Let's just ninjutsu in here and keep the ninjutsu value going. And let's get rid of the Puzzle Maker. I could have done the damage there, but I want to slow them down as much as possible here. Force them to have to play out creatures again. Especially with the Long Reach of Night, they have to discard something or sacrifice something, so they're going to have to do it at some point here anyway. So they can play that this turn. It does have flash. Okay, interesting. But we can attack in with the Searchlight Companion, and then they could be forced to completion that one. And we can also get them to discard some cards as well. You know what, let's make them discard first. And then they have to discard the 2 cards. What did they have in their hand? They had Replication Specialist. That's actually a pretty good card for them, so... Yep, they'll do the completion. Alright, good game. Yeah, so I think that all their momentum had been stunted there with our ninjutsu synergies. We had the sort of tempo going there, so things worked out as I was hoping that they would when I did the ninjutsu there to slow them down. So yeah, ninjutsu has good aggro capability, but it's also pretty good as far as tempo goes. You can tap things down, you can return things to their hand, force them to have to play things out again, do all kinds of things like that. So, all in all, a good start, I would say. So I'll see you guys for round 2. Alrighty then. We're in here with Arcane Static, or Arcantastic, or whatever you want to... Arcane Static. I have to learn my pronunciations for the arcane a little bit better, I suppose. So we can, well, we don't really have a 1-drop or a 2-drop to do with like Moon Circuit Hacker or something like that, and that's the best value for it. We do have a Puzzle Maker that we can attack in with over the top, and then potentially Ninjutsu turn 4 with the Shadow Walker. We are on the draw though, so we could draw something to Ninjutsu with Moon Circuit Hacker, so not as fast as I would like, but I will keep it since we are on the draw anyway, and we're not likely to get in there for early Ninjutsu value anyway, so... Okay, so we have the 4th land for the Shadow Walker to Ninjutsu in. Another... We saw a green-blue deck in the first Kamigawa draft that I did last time, so I wonder what this one's going to be. More enchantment synergies, maybe? I don't know. Do we want to hard cast this? Probably. At the very least, we can trade with the Fang of Shigeki, which is not a good card for us to go up against. It can just tap one of our creatures and kill it, so... And the Moon Circuit Hacker can eat removal for us, so... Let's get rid of that bad boy. So now we have a decision to make. Do we want to play out Dockside Chef and kind of hope that it eats removal here? I mean, I suppose that the Puzzle Maker is also not bad for eating removal either, but... Now, let's just get out the Puzzle Maker. We can attack in next turn and then Ninjutsu it out. They might think that we're playing like a black-blue artifact enchantment type deck, maybe. Based on what they've seen so far. Alrighty. Well, that wasn't good, but Circuit Mender would be good for them to do the Moonstare Specialist with. I think I still want to save this for the right moment, so let's just keep on going with... We'll do Dockside Chef. Then we'll do the Puzzle Maker who can block and Ninjutsu next turn. So the Dockside Chef is still decent in case they do have removal of some kind that can sacrifice a creature that they try and get rid of. Ukatai Ambusher is very good too. Let's attack in with the Puzzle Maker here, and then we'll Ninjutsu in the Ambusher here. Long Reach Knight is a pretty good draw, so I'm going to keep that. We can get him to discard a bunch of cards. And then we shall ninjutsu this. And then I think we want to go ahead and play the Puzzle Maker again, because then we can ninjutsu the Shadow Walker next turn. No plays. Well, 5 mana, I can only play 1 card from my hand right now. I suppose I can just attack in with a Puzzle Maker first and see what they do. This would also give my Ambusher Menace. But they have mana for like counter spells and stuff like that, so if they're going to counter something, I'd rather just attack in with the Puzzle Maker here. A land would be okay, because then we could do 2 spells next turn with the Mender and the Pursuit. Yeah, I think a land is okay in this situation. Ninjutsu in. And they're for 5. And let's see what they do in response here. They gotta have something. I doubt they flooded out here. Blue usually has enough card draw to deal with a flood. They might be ninjutsuing in something, and that's why they're attacking. You know, if they want to ninjutsu something in, I'm okay with that. I'll just take the 2 damage. Green blue is uncommon to be a ninja deck. There might be some ninja cards in there, but I doubt that they have like a bunch of ninjas in there by design. It's more likely they're artifacts and enchantments that happen to be ninjas. Like the Ambusher, for example, is an artifact. Invoke the Ancients. Alright, that's another Invoke card for the 4 green. So what kind of counters are they going to put on these, I wonder? Would have been great to get them to discard that, but unfortunately that's not going to happen. Vigilance and Reach. So the Puzzle Maker is not going to be able to attack in there anymore. But that's okay, because we can give our ninjas and rogues Menace here. So yeah, we want to do this pre-combat, and let's have them discard 2 cards. Target them. And then our 2 ninjas are going to have Menace here. Rather do this now, and if they want to use a counter spell on it, then at least I get rid of their counter spell. Let's just attack in with our 5/5, and then we can get rid of their reach creature. As a menace, so they have to block with both of them if they want to do it, so. And then I think that we just play probably the Circuit Mender here. Then I can chump block with the Circuit Mender and draw a card with that. I can potentially double block too, and they can only kill either the Circuit Mender or the Ambusher. And they scoot on out, so I guess like they probably assumed I had some way to deal with what they had on the board, I would assume. But yeah, I mean, they were in a decent position still, so unless they had nothing in their hand, I felt like they still had a shot to win that game. So, but blue black does have removal in it, so maybe they assumed that maybe I had some removal in hand or something else to deal with their board. All right, so Black Blue Ninjas is already off to the races with a 2-0 start. Let's see if we can make it 3-0. All right, round 3. All right, so it's a bit of a slow hand here. Maybe too slow. Slow hands killed my Samurai deck in the last draft that I did, where you really want to try and get going early. Like, there's no, like, I can't really do anything with my Dockside Chef for like 3 turns, unless I draw into something like a network disruptor or something like that. I think we're gonna have to mull this. It's not fast enough. Not enough early plays, and this is an even worse hand. Oh gosh. Yeah, I have no blue mana here. I'm gonna have to mull again. Oh god. No blue mana, all blue spells. What the heck? I should have kept the 7-hander, or the 7-card hand. Alright, well, this is at least keepable now. Get rid of the Shadow Walker, get rid of the land, and get rid of the Puzzle Maker. Let's see if we can do the impossible and win with a 4-card opening hand here. At least we're doing something in the first few turns regardless of what happens with our draw steps here. Okay, another land is not what I wanted to see there. I wanted a ninja. Something going there. Network Disruptor would have been okay. Okay, Modern Age is actually a decent draw here. Let's just play out our land, and then let's get out the Modern Age. Discard the land. Let's discard the blue land here. The next turn we might be able to ninjutsu out the Road Captain, depending what they do here. Okay, running the Moss, that's good for us. They don't really get a whole lot out of that right now, so... What do we want to discard here? Do we want to discard the land? We can still play the Specialist with ninjutsu. I don't want to return the Spirited Companion to their hands, so I think I want to wait on that. I think I'll go and just discard the Swamp. Yeah, I think that's the right thing to do. Then we can go ahead and ninjutsu in the Hacker. And then we can play the Road Captain again, I think. Yeah, because I think I want to be able to draw a card right now. And then play this again. Because I can do that for 1 mana. I could also just play out the Silver Fur Master as well and hard cast it. Yep, let's just draw the card since we don't have to discard anything. Alright, that's a good one. So I guess we have to decide, do we hard cast the Silver Fur Master, or do we just play the Reckoner Raid and get it going again? Let's just go ahead and play the Silver Fur Master and get it out right now, since ninjutsuing it in isn't exactly all that. It doesn't really change much, so let's just get it out there. Make our Moon Circuit Hacker a bit bigger. Bigger threat. We can still ninjutsu either of our other ninjas in our hand right now with what we have, so... And then befriending the Moss is going to get them a 2/4 flying blocking creature next turn that they have, so we want to attack in now while we can. Bamboo Grove Archer. So we can attack into it if we want to. Like, I don't mind attacking in with, like, the Silver Fur Master, and if they want to kill the Silver Fur Master, like, I might be okay with that. We might also draw some removal if we're lucky. Like the Assassin's Ink would be good for us here. We can just tap the Silver Fur Master to make the thing cheaper. But you have to remember the text. I don't know if you have to tap an artifact or an enchantment. I guess we could tap a creature we get from the Modern Age as well. Alright, another land. It's not bad. But we could just attack into them here with a Moon Circuit Hacker. If we attack in with both, then I just have to rely on like ninjutsu synergies. Let's attack in with the Moon Circuit Hacker first and see if they want to block it. Alright, so let's go ahead and... which do we want a ninjutsu in? Unfortunately, if I play this, then I can't do the Reckoner Raid because I didn't play out my land before combat. Then again, this is a black mana, so I couldn't do that anyway. Oh, that kind of sucks. I should have played out my land for the Moonstare Specialist ninjutsu. Let's do this and slow them down as much as we can. Force them to play the Bamboo Grove Archer again for defense. Oh, well, I guess I was misreading my cards. This thing makes the ninjutsu cheaper, so that's one less colorless, and so Auto Tapper spared my black mana there. So I guess I need to read my cards a little bit better and remember the abilities. Oh man. So they have a 2/4 blocker now. But I still could attack into it with both the Specialist and the Vector Glider, and they can't really... They could double block the Moonstare Specialist, but they couldn't double block the... or they'd have to use the Imperial Moth to block the Vector Glider. They don't want me to ninjutsu it. So they destroy my Reckoner Raid there, okay. I'm okay with them doing that and spending their turn for defense. The Long Reach of Night would be pretty good here. I guess Bamboo Grove Archers are pretty good against what we have right now. So I think we just like play the Long Reach of Night and try and get them to discard their hand. I could just sacrifice their Spirited Companion though and make that like moot. Like right now it's sort of a stalled board state and our ninjas don't really do anything here by playing them. So I think we'll just play the Long Reach of Night and hope for the best maybe, I don't know. I'll sacrifice the Spirited Companion, I bet. Since it's just a 1/1 at this point. Yeah. But at least we get rid of one of their creatures. So what can we draw here? We can draw the 3-mana spell that gives Ninjas Menace and makes them discard some cards, which could get the Specialist by or someone by. They could block with the Imperial Moth though if they aren't interested in trading, however. We're not going to attack. We're just going to see how things play out here. Their defense of 2 reach creatures and the flying creature is really solid right now. Our 2/3 and our 2/4 creatures just kind of cancel each other out right now. Maybe the Long Reach of Night, when we get a menace creature out, could do something. But I guess they only have 1 creature in the graveyard right now, so not looking good unless we draw some removal here or something. A spell that gives like -2/-2 to the entire board could also be a halfway decent thing to draw. We could play it post-combat after they've like made some blocks and such. There it is. There's the menace. There's the menace. So they're splashing something for red in this deck. I'm not exactly sure what it would be in green-white. Maybe they're splashing for a shrine card, the red shrine card, for some shrine synergies. Not quite sure. If I play this, I want to play it pre-combat, so that way I can get in with the specialist and force them to double block. Yeah, I think it's worth doing at this point. Let's get them to discard their hand, at the very least. And then we can force them to either trade or let us ninjutsu. I don't think we want to send Silverfur Master to the wolves here, so we'll force them to either trade or let us ninjutsu here. Looks like they're going to trade one of their Grove Archers for it. It has menace, yet the double block. So I figured it'd be better just to trade a creature for a creature while they have little in hand. So getting them to discard things was pretty good there. And so we need to get them whenever it attacks. Okay. And right now they have, I guess technically that's a creature, so they have 3 creatures in there. So it's a 3/4 menace when it attacks. And so do we control an artifact? We don't, but we do control an enchantment. So we could go ahead and get rid of the Archer. Imperial Moth is a big blocker too, though. Oh yeah, it requires double black, so we can't cast it yet because it's double black. Okay, well, let's see. Yeah, I guess we can't really attack in right now, so let's just hard cast the Ambusher for now and get it in there. We can still ninjutsu the Hacker in there. They know that we have it, but yeah, so I have to assume that that red mana that they discarded, the dual land, is for the red shrine if they already have another shrine here. Alright, so we definitely want to try and get rid of that if we can. So the Ambusher can attack in. This thing can also attack in pretty well as a 3/4 menace creature. Yeah, right now they have 3 in the graveyard. I mean, I can attack in with the Vector Glider and the Ambusher too, just to force them to do something here. I think that's probably what we do. We can't really reconfigure that this turn, so we can't really do anything with it. Let's attack in with all of these. They could triple block the Animus to kill it, but then they lose out on their shrine stuff if they do that. So I think I'm okay with this. And then I think I definitely want to ninjutsu in the hacker to do its thing. Drawing a card I think is going to be more valuable here. Okay, deals combat damage to a player. Yep, we want to take action and draw. There's a double black. Do we want to play Acquisition Octopus or not? I think we play it out this turn. And then we save the Assassin's Ink for perhaps another big creature that they get out if they get one. One top, one bottom on the scry, so they have something that they want, or that would be helpful for them. What do we want to do? So we have to find a way to get in with our Moon Circuit hacker to take advantage of the Acquisition Octopus. That will have first strike in a couple turns. That's a 2/2. You know what, I think we just go ahead and we kill the moth right now. Let's do that pre-combat and then force them to make a decision here. Yeah, let's see if they want to trade their Grove Archer for it. They don't. Interesting. Yeah, let's discard the Mnemonic Sphere, probably. Or maybe not. Let's discard the land. I don't think that we need it right now. Let's just hard cast this and get 2 cards next turn. Gain some more life. Yeah, those 2/2 first strikers are going to be pretty deadly against us because we don't have anything that can deal with them right now. If we get the -2/-2 across the board, then we can kind of reset the board. I mean, I think we keep the swamp in case we want to discard it with the Moon Circuit hacker here. Let's attack in one more time and see what they do. I would assume that they block this time because, yeah, they're going to get a creature out. Could have tried to draw cards there and draw a removal, but don't think it would have made a difference. So let's just do this. Draw now. Let's just hard cast the Ambusher right now. And then we can play Kato's Pursuit next turn, maybe. So get one of them out. Thankfully we have the Ambusher out to block it. Okay. Well, now we're in kind of a tough spot, because now with their first striker we can't really get in there and do anything. still play that, and then I suppose we'll do this. Do we want to make them discard what they have in their hand? I think we'll just have to go for broke here and hope that we can do something here. Twin shot sniper. Okay, well, maybe that's what they were splashing in red for. No idea. I think we're just going to have to pass the turn and hope we draw into something like -2/-2 across the board card at this point. Probably our one out at this point. That is not it. I don't know why they didn't attack in there with their first striker, but we'll leave a land in hand to make them think that we have something on defense, or that we could potentially play in. Black and blue have a good number of cards that we could play here at instant speed, so make them think that we have something and we're trying to decide on attacking. Alright, this is another one of those legendary dragon cards. Malicious malfunction. Damn. Well, if I kill the Silver Fur Master, then I kill the Road Captain as a result of that. I have to do that pre-combat most of the time. I mean, I could also do it post-combat after attacking in with, like, the Road Captain or the Octopus. If I attack in with, like, the Road Captain, well, I guess I could just double block with the 2/2 first strikers and kill it that way, not risk their Kura. That's true. Well, I'm in a tricky spot. I think we have to reconfigure this, put on our Menace creature. No attacks. We have to hold our Malicious Malfunction until like the last possible moment here. Alright, so now it's looking very good. Maybe they play out another small creature. So yeah, all these dragons, they basically have all the legendary dragons from the set, one in each color for, so there's 5 of them. All of them have like a die effect, like whenever they die, then you get a positive effect from them, along with being great flying creatures as well. So they basically punish you for using removal on them unless it's like exile-based removal, which is the only way to get around it. Target non-creature spell. So I guess I could counter another Saga if they play one with that. But they have plenty of mana out, so there aren't really many Sagas that cost that much mana that would be worth there. So what I'm going to do here, I mean, I don't know if it's really worth it at this point to attack in, but I might as well. Well, then again, let's do Malicious Malfunction here. Let's do it now. And then we will attack with the Octopus now that they don't have any blockers left. Draw a card. Let's play the companion and get it out. And then we're just going to leave the island in our hand because we want them to think that we have something. Not much you can play on 1 mana blue, but it's better just to make them think that you have something to maybe get them to think twice about whatever they want to do. Spell Pierce isn't likely to do much other than make them spend more mana, but maybe that will come into play. Maybe make them not be able to play both of their spells this turn. If they play like an enchantment saga. There are some like 4 mana enchantment sagas that maybe they would have to pay all 6 of their mana to play. We'll have to just let them attack in for now and hope that we can Spell Pierce like an enchantment saga card that's expensive. Force them to pay 6 mana for it. This is worth making them pay a bunch of mana for, so let's see if they want to pay the 2 for it. They will. I mean, it is worth it for them to do that, especially since I'm flooding out here, but I do think that, again, not being able to play double spell this turn could also be an impact, so in some situations where we don't flood out. Well, Network Disruptor. I mean, it's a chump blocker, I guess. I don't know if we can win the race or not. Wish I could play this with Flash and tap down their dragon on their own turn. But it's going to have to do. Tap a green mana. Why not? And then we'll leave the Network Disruptor back to chump block their dragon there. It's getting close. We're not dead yet, but I don't know if we have any removal that can deal with the dragon reliably. Thirst for Knowledge. Okay, so we're going to have to do this now pre-combat. Discard our 2 lands if needed. Decline, we'll discard some lands here. Minister Specialist is pretty decent here, actually. To Ninjutsu in. Let's go ahead and play the land pre-combat. Now we have 5 mana. We can't do both of these. We have to do one or the other. So I think we attack in with both. Get in damage, and then we ninjutsu this. Do the Searchlight Companion so we can get another token out. And then send the dragon back to their hand they have to replay. So they play it again for a lot of their mana. Disruption Protocol, you came 1 turn too late. I guess I can actually tap my Acquisition Octopus actually for this counterspell. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the Searchlight. Yeah, I think I want to do this pre-combat. Do I attack? I think that we just keep our creatures alive here. It's unlikely they have that one board sweeper in red. If they have Farewell, they could use it. Do we want to counter that? I believe that we do because it has lifelink. Yep, tap an untapped artifact we control. Let's tap this sucker since we can't use it. And if they have something else out that's good, Yep, alright, so they don't have anything, so they're dead. We were able to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat today, ladies and gents. We were able to beat the Kura Dragon deck. I don't know how we did it, but somehow I did the impossible here. I beat what was a decent looking green-white enchantment deck here with a 4-card starting hand. 4 cards in my starting hand, and I somehow won. I don't know how I did it, but yeah, they had like a couple Bamboo Grove Archers out there that were really stalling the board. They had their 2/4 flying, befriending the Moss creature. They were killing our good stuff. I don't know how we did it, but we beat a Kura green-white enchantment sort of Deckaroonie here, and they had some artifacts in there too, like the twin-shot sniper and some different things, but yeah, I don't know how we won this one. It's but that's Magic the Gathering for you. Sometimes if you can just, in blue decks, if you can kind of out-tempo your opponent at the right time, force them to replay cards that would cause them to, you know, spend more mana in a turn that they might want, then sometimes that can just get you the upper hand and win you the game. So I'm going to have to be right back with a quick restroom break, and then I'll get back to the 4th match here. I'll see you guys then. Alright, I am back and ready for action. Alright, so let's see. Alright, so this is looking like a good hand. We don't have anything to ninjutsu in, so I don't think that we do Network Disruptor first turn. I think we do Reckoner Raid first turn, then Modern Age, and then Circuit Mender probably. That's what I'm thinking. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and keep this. This is a good hand. We don't really get a Ninja Ninjutsu out turn 2, which would be ideal, but we could always draw one if we're lucky. So if we draw the Mukotai Ambusher, that would be good. I guess it depends. I mean, we can't really rely on drawing the Mukotai Ambusher, I think, or one of those 2-mana ninjutsu cards like the Silver Fur Master. So yeah, I think we're just going to play the Reckoner Raid first turn here and get that started. Plus it has Menace, so it's likely to be able to get in on turn 4, maybe. Turn 4, if we're lucky, you know, we might be able to get in there. Okay. Silver Fur Master kind of makes things a bit interesting now. And we don't really want to discard anything from our hand, so... I mean, we could just hard cast Silver Fur Master, and we could play Network Disruptor next turn to tap the Fang of Shigeki. Or we could just discard the Network Disruptor too. You know what? Maybe that might actually be better. Let's see if we can try and fish for something better than a Network Disruptor. I don't think that we're going to need Spell Pierce here. I think I'll just discard that instead. We can't even play it this turn, so we're going to be kind of tapping out, so we're not going to really be able to play it. Yeah, maybe I might swap out Spell Pierce for the other double blue counterspell, maybe. Since the double blue counterspell can counter basically anything, and we have some artifacts that we can tap down to make it cheaper. Alright, so they attack for 1. Doesn't make too much difference to us, I think. They channel the Sunboy Samurai, so they were probably mana screwed there. Probably needed the 3rd land, I would assume. Yeah, it doesn't really matter which order we go in, I think, so. Yeah, I think we want to go for another Reckoner Raid. I think we discard a land this time, since we have 3, and that's kind of all we need. I guess the question is, do we go like Network Disruptor, Reckoner Raid, or Reckoner Raid? Well, we can't do both Reckoner Raid and Silver Fur Master. Circuit Mender, I mean, we could block the thing at Shigeki and draw a card maybe if we wanted to, but let's go and play that out, and then I mean, it'd be nice to have something to well, this is on stage 2 already, so we're not going to need to discard anything. Let's play the Reckoner Raid number 2. Thing of Shigeki attacking in doesn't really have any consequence to us right now. And let's just go ahead and play this in there. And then we can like ninjutsu and the Silver Fur Master next turn maybe. Looks like they have the green shrine here. Okay. So that has trample and it can slowly get a bit bigger. So we're gonna have to find a way to deal with that. I think, what is it, the Moonstare Specialist could return it to their hand and kind of slow down the growth of that. So that would be a pretty good card to come up with. So I can only do one of these cards this turn. Network Disruptor dying to Dockside Chef would be decent, but it would have to be next turn. Let's go ahead and attack in with... I think both of these would actually be good options. Let's do both of them. If they double block and sacrifice their shrine, I'm totally okay with that. They have to double block the captain to be able to block it, so if they want to trade the shrine for that, I'm all for it. And then we shall ninjutsu this dude in for the captain, I think. And then we can play Reckoner Raid next turn if we don't have any better options. So what's this? Here are the Ancient Fang. If you control a modified creature. Alright, so 3/4 for 3 mana. I mean, that's not bad. But it doesn't have any other secondary features after that, so unless they're playing like a green-white enchantment modified synergies type deck, not sure what else that they're getting. Alright, so we can... Do we have an artifact? We do with this one. So it has to be untapped, though. That's not an artifact, that's an enchantment, that's an enchantment. I mean, I suppose I could always just discard the Circuit Mender if I ninjutsu out the Vector Glider here. Oh, I can't really ninjutsu with anything though right now. I'd have to draw something the next few turns. Does any of these have reach? No. Okay, so I can attack in first. Guess it depends if I want to keep the Disruption Protocol up or not. I think we just want to keep attacking in. And then... Circuit Mender would only be like a chump blocker at this point, for the most part. Let's just play the Reckoner Raid again, since they know that we have it. Could have kept up my Disruption Protocol there by not attacking with a Network Disruptor, but they're so low on life that just racing them here might be the better option to beat them. Having only one black mana means that we can't like play out the Dockside Chef, then sacrifice a creature to it in the same turn. So, I mean, drawing a black mana here would be good, and it will also allow us to play out the Dockside Chef and keep up Disruption Protocol. The good thing about the Road Captain is it does have Menace, but on the other hand, the Goshen Tai is going to get big enough to where we can't like trade for any of their creatures. So if they pay the one for a Goshen Tai now and make it bigger, then at the beginning of your end step, so they can't. All right, so they can't do it pre-combat. I'm going to get rid of this Goshen Tai now. I mean, I don't know. It's interesting, right? Because this is going to do more and more damage to them. I can attack in for 5 next turn and hold up Disruption Protocol. So it would basically be like 6 damage to them next turn. For the long run, I think I'm just going to have to kill this and kill it now. It's a bit of a big gamble to go in there and rely on the damage to hit there. And we do draw what we want here, so we can play Dockside Chef. Do we need the Silver Fur Master for anything? I mean, it does buff the Network Disruptor and puts on a much bigger clock, so, and I can play the Dockside Chef and then sacrifice the Vector Glider to it. Yeah, maybe that's the best play here. Let's just get in with the Network Disruptor here, and then we'll play Dockside Chef, pass the turn, keep up Disruption Protocol, and then if they don't do anything, we can just use Dockside Chef, I think, since it's not a tap ability, and sacrifice Vector Glider to it. Yeah, because this will cost 3, but we can counterspell anything, so. And Jukai Preserver is worth countering here, so let's get rid of that. And so they spend their entire turn on that, and now we're going to get the Reckoner Raid out as a creature, which in 2 turns can attack in. And so they have no mana. I think we just... I don't think we want to play either of these. I think we might want to just sacrifice of the Dockside Chef maybe with the 2 mana. I don't know, it's tough because we want to get another creature out there. I think we can just maybe play the Circuit Mender and attack in. Let's attack there. Put them on a 2-turn clock. Maybe even 1-turn clock since we have the Road Captain here. Road Captain would have to be double blocked, and then we have a flying creature, so I think that they might just be dead here. Plus we have Moon Circuit Hacker that can pump in another damage. So yeah, I think we just attack with everything. And we only have to pump out 4 damage, and this has Menace. So I think that they're just dead unless they have like... Unless they have some removal, but even then we can ninjutsu for some extra damage. So let's attack with everything here. 3/3 has Menace, so that's 3 damage there. They can't really let the Road Captain get by for 3 damage and expect to live. They need removal for the road captain, and then they have to chump block a bunch of other places, so... what are those blocking again? The 3/3? Okay. So let's do it that way. And then we shall Moon Circuit Hacker Ninjutsu in just in case they have a surprise combat trick to save them or some life gain of some kind. And we win! Excellent. Alright, well, we are moving on to 4-0, and you know, things actually went better there than I expected. I thought they would have something in hand with 3 mana up, so... Already up to Bronze Tier 2 after our... That's weird. After an 0-3 deck in my previous Kamigawa draft, now we're up to 4-0 with this draft, which I honestly thought maybe wasn't as good of a deck as the previous deck I had built, but this deck has just the right tempo going for it, and right removal at the right time, I suppose, and being able to get in with some flying creatures and do a little bit of ninjutsu and just wear down the opponent. The Reckoner raids have been very, very good because they get pumped up by the Silver Fur Master when they become a creature, and then they just drain the opponent out a little bit more and more, so you can just kind of wear down the opponent. So, quite... Oh, and one thing I want to do before getting into my next match here is I wanted to swap out the Spell Pierce for the other counterspell here, so let's go ahead and do that real quick. Meant to do this last time before starting the match, but I forgot to. So where's the... We'll put in Disruption Protocol, I guess, and then we'll take out Spell Pierce because Spell Pierce isn't really doing anything because we're trying to curve out here with tempo. So the Spell Pierce doesn't really accomplish much. So time to swap that out and get on going to match number 5. So I'll go ahead and see you guys then. Okay, so that did not take long to wait for my opponent, so someone was waiting on me to finish my match. Well, we have a good turn 1 play with the Reckoner raid. And then after that we can play Mnemonic Spear. And then after that, I don't know, we might be able to draw into another creature or some more lands here. So, I mean, it's a decent hand. We'll go ahead and keep this. Play the Reckoner raid turn 1. That's also a pretty cool image there. It's like some kind of like some street biker rat of some kind, it looks like. Street biker rat, rah rah. Reminds me of some of those 1990s cartoons where it's like the biker mice from Mars or whatever it was. I remember back from my childhood. Okay, so Mnemonic Sphere. Let's just play it out as an artifact. And then that also makes Assassin's Ink a bit cheaper too, but we need double black for that. Okay, so Thirst for Knowledge. I don't know if we want to discard things yet. This, if we had the Mnemonic Sphere in our hand, we could discard that for the Thirst for Knowledge, but since we don't really have a good play right now, so we'll just go ahead and do this. Well, let's go ahead and wait so we can make him think that we have something in hand right now. Okay, so that's a vehicle card. So it looks like they're going for blue-white vehicles here, probably. Go ahead and draw some cards here. Alright, so we have the land that we need for another land drop in double black. I guess the question is now, what do we do? What do we do? Well, let's play the land. And then we could go ahead and ninjutsu the Moonstare Specialist or the Ambusher. This is one target creature, so we could return the Kitsune Ace back to their hand so they can't crew their vehicle. That's not actually a bad play, so let's go ahead and do that. Long Reach of Night wouldn't be bad either, but I just want to do this and get some more of my value here with ninjutsu. Keep up my black mana so I can play the Reckoner Raid again. Put that back in their hand and slow them down a bunch. And then play the Reckoner Raid again and drain them some more. So far, our aggro plan has gone pretty well in these matches. We just ninjutsu out the Reckoner Raid when it's a creature, play it again, drain the opponent more, make it hard for them to get anything going. Of course, they have that going now, and that's going to be a bit difficult to deal with, but I could save Assassin's Ink for when they crew that, and then play Assassin's Ink before combat to kill their vehicle. I want to save the Kato's Pursuit for when they have more or less cards in their hands. They have to discard good cards. They probably have some filler cards in there right now, or some extra lands maybe, I don't know. Then again, they only have 3 lands, so they might be actually kind of mana screwed right now. And then they have a 1/1 that they can sacrifice to the Long Reach of Night, so... Okay, so let's go ahead and attack in here and see what they do. This is an artifact, so let's ninjutsu that in and make Assassin's Ink. Well, I guess it's double black, but okay. Well, this doesn't matter much. Let's just get in there for ninjutsu and see what we can do here. But it does make the Assassin's Ink cheaper for this upcoming turn, I suppose. Okay, so I can attack with everything there. But the Mukotai Ambusher does have lifelink, so... And that's not going to target... Well, I guess technically it targets that, yeah. Technically has a mana cost of 4 or higher, so it does work. And Jitsu's for less. Alright, so... What do we do now? They're going to keep on making tokens, so the Long Reach of Night isn't going to be working all that well. Could just thirst for knowledge and get rid of the stuff that's not that useful for me right now. Moonfold Puzzle Maker is a decent blocker, but the Golden Tail Disciple still has lifelink if it attacks in, so it's still going to hurt. Don't have a flying... Well, we have the Puzzle Maker, but don't know if we want to use the Acquisition Octopus on just that. I think I want to hit my land drops here and just do this first. Okay, and then Puzzle Maker does have flying and it's a good blocker, but we can't even play it this turn, so let's just get rid of it. And then we can play out our land. So now we have easier way to get double black for the Assassin's Ink, at least, if we play something else. 2 Kato's Pursuits. So we could get him to discard a bunch of cards, potentially. But not going to block. Making tokens. Ace and Mobilizer Mech. So they have a pretty good board right now, which is not good for us. And they have Sacrifice Fodder for the Long Reach of Night. I really have to kill the Prodigy's prototype because they'll just keep on making tokens. So I might have to hold up the Assassin's Ink here. And then maybe play like the Kato's Pursuit to get them to discard some cards. Let's have him discard a few cards. And then maybe we can try and just stabilize the board here with Assassin's Ink. Do we attack in? Because it's not going to be blocking. Yeah, let's attack in and see if they want to trade for it, I guess. Okay, they want to do that. That's fine, I suppose. No, actually, no, let's not play that yet. Let's let them decide if they want to do that. Okay, now we'll do it. So let's kill at least one of these vehicles, I guess. Do something there. And now we can at least kill the Kitsunes out of all these guys. Clear off some of their board. Granted, we're still in rough shape right now, so I'm not really counting on a win here, but drawing in some more tokens and go wide on us, so we're in rough shape. Okay, Searchlight Companion gets us a chump blocker. Kato's Pursuit. Guess I'm just to discard some more stuff. Shadow Walker makes a good blocker to prevent them from just attacking in, but they're going wide at this point, so I don't know if we can rely on that. Yeah, we're in rough shape here. I can play both the Octopus and the Companion to just try and slow them down as much as possible here. I think that's probably what we're going to have to do to try and live here. Then maybe next turn we can attack with the Searchlight Companion and Ninjutsu the Shadow Walker in. If we draw a land, we can attack with Searchlight Companion. And then we can play it out again. Alright, we're dead. GG's. You know, you win some, you lose some. The March of Swirling Mist and Phasing Creatures Out has lost me 2 games here when I played against it, so it's definitely a good card. The March of the White March card and the Black March card are also very strong cards, so they are definitely widely used in constructed decks as removal or other sorts of secondary effects in some cases, or discarding cards to make it cheaper, since that's what you can do with the March cards, is you can discard a card, make the casting cost a bit cheaper, and get rid of a bigger threat. So, alright, well, 4-1, but we're still in good shape, so let's go ahead and see how we do in the next match. I will see you all then. Alright, away we go into match number 6. Oh, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. I probably did not do that impression much justice, but I did my best. So we're on the play. We have no blue mana here, no early plays with black mana. I think it's too slow, so we have to mull that. This is definitely a better hand, so I'm going to go and keep this. I can sack the Circuit Mender to the Dockside Chef later on if I need to draw into something good. I think I'm going to discard Kato's Pursuit. Not doing much for us early. Alright, the Modern Age is a pretty good draw here. Let's see what we draw here. If we draw a land, we might discard a land. Oh, this is tough. So I would like to have the Disruption Protocol up to counterspell like a big bomb card that the opponent might have. I could also just discard the Circuit Mender, but it's good sack fodder for the Dockside Chef. You draw 2 cards that way. Moonstar Specialist, is it going to ninjutsu in? I mean, it could. We could attack with Circuit Mender, but it would have to go unblocked. I think we're going to have to discard the counterspell here because these 2 things go a bit too well with what we have on board right now. So Circuit Mender is good with the Dockside Chef. Circuit Mender is good with the Moonstar Specialist. So, and our opponent has a pretty slow start as far as adding to their board. So we could potentially ninjutsu out the Circuit Mender if we're lucky. So unless they play like a 3-drop creature that can block it. See, I think it's turn 3 Circuit Mender, then turn 4 ninjutsu in the Specialist. And then we draw a card that way, and if they have like a smaller creature out, then maybe you can return it to their hand. They discard the Skyscraper, so they probably playing in a modification theme type deck, I would assume. Acquisition Octopus would be interesting, but I don't know how much longer we're going to be able to go and actually get in a creature unblocked. We don't have a flying creature right now to reliably make use of this. Shadow Walker is kind of expensive though, and we can't really play it right now compared to the other cards that we have. Yeah, at the end of the day, I don't think that we're going to be able to play this all that effectively, so let's just get rid of the Octopus. I think the other things that we have going right now are probably better. I mean, we can just do the Moonstar Specialist now, but if we do that, then we don't get the like ninjutsu value out of it, so I'm not going to do that. Let's gain some life, get more damage. Now what we could do is we could attack with both Dockside Chef and Circuit Mender next turn, and you know, we could just throw one of them to the wolves like the Dockside Chef, and if they kill the Dockside Chef, then we can just ninjutsu out the Circuit Mender and just get value out of that anyway. So don't know how many sacrifice fodder that we're going to have for the Dockside Chef. Could also ninjutsu out the creature that we get from the Modern Age as well. So ninjutsu, unless they have the crab, that crab artifact creature we can channel for 3 mana and counter the ninjutsu ability. Unless they have something like that, I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to ninjutsu in either of these. We probably ninjutsu in the Shadow Walker because they don't have a creature for us to return to their hand right now. So we want to do this pre-combat, and I think we just attack with both of these right now. Oh, god damn it. That was a boo-boo on my part. I clicked the button there too soon. I clicked it way too soon. Okay, well, that was a boo-boo. That was a big boo-boo. Well, let's just hard cast this then. I made a big mistake there. It was a very big mistake. I clicked the buttons too fast. I can just return the Circuit Mender to my hand. You know what? Let's do that. Let's draw a card at least and do it this way. Okay, we draw a card. Alright, so not all was lost in that. Even though I made a big mistake, I was somehow still able to salvage something from that. So I guess maybe they were kind of color screwed there of having only blue mana. And they couldn't play any of their green spells that they had. So what's this going to do? 3 damage to any target. Okay. But they have to tap their creature to do that. So excuse me. The good thing too is that Dockside Chef can sacrifice a creature in response to them using the kunai here. So since we know that they have the kunai, we can save mana for Dockside Chef for that. So what do we do here? I think we just go ahead and play a land. And then we can just play the Circuit Mender and still have mana left for the Dockside Chef to sacrifice in response to the kunai. And if they want to go ahead and kill something, then hey, why not? And then no attacks because we don't have any good attacks right now. Okay, they gain 3 life. So we can attack with... Alright, well I guess we can't now, but... If they didn't play a creature there, we could have attacked with both the Glider and the Circuit Mender there to ninjutsu one of them out. So in order to play the kunai, they have to tap their creature, so they're not attacking with it. Do I want to sacrifice something to the Dockside Chef now, is the question. I think I'd rather sacrifice now and make use of my mana here. Well, then again, well, I guess we might as well just do it now while we can and make use of it. If they want a Ninja's Kunai in like response or something, then they can do that. If they want to kill, yeah. Killing the Dockside Chef, I don't really care much about that now. Like, I got the value out of it that I needed, so I think I'm okay with that. And I'm very okay with the Network Disruptor too. That makes their hand much, much better now. So I think we do Network Disruptor, then we ninjutsu in the Shadow Walker since they won't have a blocker to block anybody. Yeah, I think that's the play here. That would be 1 mana. So it'd be 5 total mana. So we wouldn't have enough to play the Sphere, but we could channel it and draw a card with it. So let's go and play this now. Tap their Geothermal Kami here so we can get in there. And then I'm just going to go ahead and channel this pre-combat. Just to make sure I don't draw anything that could be useful here. Okay. And let's attack in with both of those. Ninjutsu. And I think I want to do it with the Specialist and force them to when it enters the battlefield. Okay. Interesting. Alright, so yeah, I think the Minister Specialist is still good enough if they put in another creature. If they put another creature onto the board that doesn't have like into the battlefield effects, or it isn't like a Saga creature or something like that, then Moonstare Specialist can still do something pretty good for us. So, and the Long Reach of Night is still looking pretty decent here as well. Malicious Malfunction, not looking good here, but we could still play it post-combat if we really wanted to. Interesting. Could do the Long Reach of Night. We could save Malicious Malfunction for like playing it post-combat if we wanted to. I do think that we have to attack, but so I think what we can do here is we attack first and we see how they block before deciding on what we want to do here. Okay. Yeah, I think we're just going to go ahead and get in there for the 5 damage, and then we can just hard cast the Moonstare Specialist, maybe. Okay, well that's fine. We want to use the Moonstare Specialist now. And get rid of their Vector Glider. That's going to kill mine. I think I'm okay with this trade, actually. Their 2-3 isn't going to be doing a whole lot anyway, so... And maybe we just go ahead and play this now. See if they want to sacrifice either of their creatures. If they have a land, they might discard that. But I assume they might have some decent things in their hand that they don't want to discard, so play this now, make it more difficult for them to play something out onto their board, because then they have to discard something when they have their next turn, so... Yeah, and this has a pretty decent creature that they get out of this, so if they probably don't want to sacrifice that either. Discard an enchantment here. Okay. So yeah, if they would have cast this on their Geothermal Kami, they could have drawn cards each turn, I think. So that's interesting. I am not going to block. I want to save my Network Disruptor, I think, for other things. Maybe they have a ninjutsu card? They do. Silver for Masters, interesting. You have to discard again, I assume. They could sacrifice the Coiling Stalker, but not sure if they want to do that necessarily. Okay, Heir of the Ancient Fang, okay. Well, they had to discard some decent things, so looking good for us. And I can just hard cast Moonstare Specialist and get rid of their Vector Glider. That's a somewhat beefy creature out there. And then I can ninjutsu in the Silver Fur Master. I play this for 4, ninjutsu this for 2 with the Network Disruptor. I think that's a good play. Hard cast this. Get rid of the Vector Glider on the field. Let's get in there for ninjutsu. The reason I'm doing ninjutsu is so I can use the Network Disruptor next turn to tap down one of their creatures and get in for even more damage and try and kill them. So if I can get that into the battlefield effect again and tap a creature down, then I can maybe just kill them outright. So we have a Moonstare Specialist and a Network Disruptor that we can just hard cast and clear out their blockers. Geothermal Kami I don't think saves them necessarily. Maybe it does with the life gain, but we're still going to be able to attack into them here. Okay, so I can hard cast the Moonstare Specialist. Or if it becomes blocked. And so none of these have reach. Okay, so... Oh, GG's. I guess maybe they thought that we were going to get in there and just wear them out with their life total, I guess. So I have to assume that was why they left the game before we even attacked in there. But they knew that we had the Network Disruptor. We'd tap down one creature. We would attack in with at least 2 of our creatures. And this thing on our next turn would have been like a 1, 3. We would have had a 3/4 menace creature attacking in as well. So yeah. Yep. So that was an interesting match. I guess it's interesting that some decks I've gone up against in my past few drafts here with Kamigawa. There's been some like green-blue enchantment type decks that we've gone up against in terms of opponents. So usually enchantment decks usually tend to be green-white, or maybe green-black or white-black could also be enchantment artifact type synergies together. So yep, so that was a good match. Let's go ahead and get moving on to the next one, and I will see you guys for our next match here, and it will be match number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Match number 7. So I will see you guys then. All right. Who will our next opponent be? We were fighting an elephant. Warg. Okay. Well, let's see here. We have only blue mana. We don't have black mana for Silver Fur Master, which is our early play, but we could try and find some mana with the Modern Age. Discard an island, maybe. And we're on the play, so I don't know if we want to mull this hand or not. I mean, we'll keep it and see if we can use the Modern Age to try and find ourselves some black mana out of this. Thankfully, I'm at 5 wins, so I got to the point where I have enough gems from my win count in this draft to be able to do another draft at another... Live to play another day, live to play Magic another day, as they say. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do the Modern Age. Let's see what we draw here. Kato's Pursuit. Well, we need black mana more than anything. I think of the two of these cards, I think I like Kato's Pursuit better, because if the opponent gets like cheap creatures out, they can just sacrifice a creature instead of discarding a card. And this is just cheaper mana cost. So I think we just discard that because we don't have black mana, we don't have 4 mana yet. So let's just do that. Lion Sash. That's not a card that we want to see. Oh, that's going to be a rough one to try and beat. Especially since we have such a slow start here. I don't know if I want to discard this because we can ninjutsu it in. By the time that we do get black mana, we probably want to do whatever we can to ninjutsu this in with like our Searchlight Companion. I think we need to rely on what we have in our deck. So maybe if I can get kind of lucky here, maybe I can eventually get some black mana in so I can ninjutsu one of my dudes in. So I can ninjutsu end the Moonsnare Specialist, but I think I want to save that for when the Lion Sash has already gotten a bunch of value out of it. So that way I can use it later on when they don't have as many cards to play and as many things to do. Well, I have all the blue mana, but none of the black mana here. Okay, well, I'm just going to attack in with everything here. They're not going to block, so let's just attack in anyway. If they block here, I would be pleasantly surprised. Can they crew that for 1? No, they have to crew it for 2. Okay. Alright, so I'm not gonna play the Moonsnare Specialist just yet. I want to use it when we can get some more value off of it. Either a bigger creature or after they've already used mana to pump up their Lion Sash. So they probably threw that with a decoy and they get in there. And we're not going to block. Prodigy's Prototype by Ancient Nemesis of the Ninja decks here. Okay, well. So what do we do? We have 5 blue mana here. I can ninjutsu out the Vector Glider, but I'd have to play my blue mana to play it out again as the modern age. So I think we're going to have to play this either way, and then I think we just attack with everything, probably. Yeah, I think we just attack in for everything here. They want to trade a 1/1, and I'm cool with that, so... And then... I suppose at this point, best use of mana is just going with the Moonstare Specialist and doing it now. And then I think we need to probably just loot with this one more time. And then I think we want to do the Lion Sash. Try and slow them down as much as we can, and try and loot for something that we need, like black mana. That's not black mana. Huh. Well, of all of these, I think we have to discard this one. It is bigger than the Mukotai Ambusher, but I really want the Silver Fur Master. I can play the Circuit Mender, so... more of this crew action going on. Prodigy's Prototype has been a bit of a strong card because I just don't have any creatures that are big enough to block it. I'm kind of color screwed right now with no black mana, so... Okay, so Moonstare Specialist, that's actually fine if they want to get rid of that. Discard a card. Well, I think Acquisition Octopus is what we do here because we can use this to draw more cards and try and get our black mana. I mean, I could equip this and reconfigure it and draw a card too, so maybe I just play this out and reconfigure it to my Searchlight Companion, attack in, and draw a card. Yeah, I think that's what we need to do. Pretty sure you can reconfigure when, yeah, the turn that you play it out, so let's do this. We need black mana. We need black mana. Chanting protests at the Magic the Gathering deck building factory. We need black mana. That's not black mana. Oh, come on, game. Oh, well. That's probably game right there. I don't think that we're going to be able to overcome this now. We really needed black mana at that spot. Because if we at least got black mana, then next turn we could ninjutsu in like the Ambusher, for example. But now we're just gonna get overrun. And they're making tokens and doing all kinds of cool stuff. So yeah, we're in a rough spot right now. Yeah, that's really bad. Well, I don't think that there's any way that we can actually win. But let's attack in with our Searchlight Companion and go out swinging and see if we draw anything interesting here. Yeah, I guess I forgot that they have their swimmer Kai. It is what it is. I think I was pretty much dead there anyway, so I don't think it really mattered what we did. Alright, well, GG's. I think that's a game there. We're just going to call it here. Yeah, that was unfortunate. We got no black mana. I mean, it was a risky hand to keep with not having black mana, but we had enough things that we could at least play to try and hold out for a little bit until we got black mana. We drew a lot of cards there, and we didn't get black mana, so that's not really anything you can predict. So, all right, well, again, at least we have the 1,600 gems. We'll have enough to play another sort of set here and play another draft. So, assuming we lose here, at least we'll still live to play another draft day. So, I will see you guys for the next match. Alright, let's hope that my next opponent isn't playing a vehicle deck, because that's been like the bane of the ninja deck so far, and the other decks I played with the samurai deck as well, I think. Either way, the vehicles have kind of presented a problem for us, because our Moonsnare specialist cannot return a vehicle back to their hand, because unless the vehicle is crewed, it doesn't count as a creature. So been kind of difficult to deal with that deck. This is a pretty good keep. We go first. We can do Modern Age or Sphere. We could do Sphere turn 1 to cycle it for a card, so we probably do that. Then we can do like Modern Age turn 2 to see if we can draw into some more stuff and see if we can get one more mana, so we can do... If we draw into like Network Disruptor, that would be pretty good, but not holding out hope for that. Alright, one more mana is actually not bad, so we can do probably Modern Age. Well, I guess we don't really want to discard anything here though, do we? At least not yet. Could discard the Circuit Mender, but I can ninjutsu that out with something. Let's just hard cast the Moon Circuit Hacker, and then we can ninjutsu in the Moonsnare Specialist, maybe, if we can attack into them, or we can do something there. So, alright, so we can't ninjutsu into that. And that's not good. Well, okay. So I think we can still play the Circuit Mender and then at least get the life gain out of that. I really wanted to be able to ninjutsu this turn though, but that's a very good defensive creature that they have. We could just Modern Age and ditch the Circuit Mender. Like, I don't know if it's going to do anything else for us right now. I mean, it does provide a creature, but I think we need other stuff right now. Two Moonsnare Specialists. I mean, we can still make use of both of them. Like, I don't know, maybe we just ditch the Shadow Walker then. I mean, we can ninjutsu it in for 4 mana, but we would have to have an unblocked attacker to be able to do that, and they have a reach creature. I don't know, let's just ditch the Circuit Mender. I don't think it's going to do as much for us as the other creatures can. I think that Shadow Walker and Moonsnare Specialist can just do better for the field at this point. Shadow Walker is a big fat creature. Moonsnare Specialist can return a creature to their hands and slow them down a lot. Kato's Pursuit is interesting because then I can give Moon Circuit Hacker Menace, but or the other ninja's Menace at that rate. Silver for Master, though, would allow our Moon Circuit Hacker to attack into them more easily. I mean, we can just also just hard cast Moonsnare Specialist, maybe, and then attack into them and see if they trade with like the Ember Keeper. Yeah, this is a tough one because I want to really get my Shadow Walker out there. I think we just do Kato's Pursuit then and rely on our ninjas. So the way I see it, we just Moonsnare Specialist hardcast it in and force them to get out the Bamboo Grove Archer again. Even if I played the Silver Fur Master, they could trade the Ember Keeper for the Moon Circuit Hacker. So I'd rather just do this. And we're still trading at this rate. Alright, so if they want to use a combat trick, I'm okay with that. Thundering Raiju, that's going to be a problem. Okay, well, this is going to be a very big problem. Alright, so we have 5 mana now. Yeah, since the Thundering Raiju has haste, putting it back into their hand isn't going to slow them down any, so... Non-token modified creature controlled dies, okay. So I could just play the Silver Fur Master and then I can block the Thundering Raiju. Then I can Moonsnare Specialist to get rid of the Ember Keeper. Let's just hard cast this. And then... do I want to attack in? I mean, I could. I could use the Moonsnare Specialist to return the Ember Keeper to their hand. I can ninjutsu them in. Huh. Well, they're going to get the Bamboo Grove Archer out, so... well, let's not attack. Let's just wait. If the Ember Keeper dies, they make a 1/1 token, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so... that's not going to do very good for us. It's to get another creature, and then Thundering Raiju can give it a +1/+1 counter anyway. I think just keeping the Moonsnare Specialist back to block the Thundering Raiju is the best way to do it. Yeah, this is a game where the missing out on the high-speed hoverbike with my draft and the decisions I made would have been... high-speed hoverbike in this matchup would be very, very good to tap down the Thundering Raiju and slow them down as much as I can. Maybe the opponent disconnected or something, I don't know. Very unusual when they have some clear stuff they can do here and they're taking a long time to think about it. But I guess, okay, they're just thinking about it. Maybe they want to put a +1/+1 counter on the Bamboo Grove Archer and just make it a big blocker of some kind. If they put a +1/+1 counter on the Thundering Raiju, I can still double block it and kill it, so I don't think that they're going to put a +1/+1 counter on the Raiju if they attack with it anyway. Then after that, I could return the Bamboo Grove Archer back to their hand with another Moonsnare Specialist. Reckoner Raid's not bad. I can cast both the Reckoner Raid and the Moonsnare Specialist here, just hard cast them since I can't really attack into them with their Reach Archer here that can kill my Vector Glider. This does cost 1 less than Ninjutsu, so I can Ninjutsu that for 3. But again, I have to hard cast this to be able to get the Bamboo Grove Archer off the field. And that would cost 4 mana, and I have only 5 mana. But I could do this and then just Reckoner Raid here. And then I think we just return this to their hand and get rid of that enchantment aura. And then play this. It'll get us another creature in a couple turns that the Silver Fur Master will pump up. And now at this point, I think maybe I might want to attack in. At this point, I don't care if they get a Spirit Token creature at this point, so I'd rather just take care of this now. Get rid of their creature. I can still double block the Thundering Raiju. That makes a double block a bit more tricky now, but I think I can still do it unless they have another enchantment. If they have another enchantment, I think they probably just win the game, because then we can't stop the Thundering Raiju with basically anything that we have. We'd have to triple block and lose a couple of our creatures in the process, so... Okay, so this is an easy double block here. If they have a combat trick, so be it, but we're going to have to do this. That's very surprising that they took out my flying creature when they have a reach blocker already in hand. So, very surprising. I think this is a situation where we just hard cast the Shadow Walker and get it onto the field. And then we can just attack in with it and my Reckoner Raid creature at some point. Because we don't have any chance of ninjutsuing in when they have the Bamboo Grove Archer, so I think we just hard cast this. What's the flavor text on that again? Don't fear the blade, fear the shadows. Okay. So we're not going to attack. Their Bamboo Grove Archer at least can't attack, so... Alright, that makes sense. Thing of Shigeki makes things a bit more complicated now. So draw 3 cards, and discard 2 cards, unless you discard an artifact card. Do we want to do this now? I think we want to do it now, and we need to draw something, so... We draw lands, we can discard the lands. Long Reach of Night is looking pretty good here, so let's go ahead and do this. And then Fang of Shigeki makes it to where we can't really attack into them right now. We need to let Fang of Shigeki do its thing first. Or not that, the Long Reach of Night do its thing first and see what they do with that. If they have another enchantment here, things are going to get kind of tricky, but... It's kind of a stalled board state right now because their biggest creature can't attack, and our biggest creature can't attack into them, so they can't really... We can't really attack into each other right now until that happens, obviously, but, you know. I don't think that we have any discard type effects anymore, except for like Moon Circuit Hacker. But Moon Circuit Hacker is not likely to get in there for damage at this point if we draw it. Do I have it in the graveyard? Sorry. Oh yeah, I do. So I can't even draw into the Moon Circuit Hacker because I think I only have one of them. Let's see, we don't have Moonstare Specialist anymore that I know of. I think we have the removal spell. Yeah, I think we have our removal spell for like double black, and then we have the -2/-2 spell still around. Let's just play that. I think that we just do this now. I think we have to do it now. They have one card left in hand. If it's a land, I'm sure they discard it. If not, then a bit trickier decision. Okay, so we at least get rid of one creature that they have. Road Captain can't attack into them now because then they just double block and they don't lose anything. You know, we don't have any good attacks. Long Reach of Night is going to have to do something here for us. Yeah, I don't think that we block it. It's only 1 damage. I'd rather attack into them, if anything. Well, that's going to be trouble. That is a very good ninja that's in green. That's one of the great ninja cards that green has, and then they can replay Fang of Shigeki, so yeah, we are in trouble. Or deals combat damage to a player from the graveyard to your hand. Alright, so we are in lots of trouble. Yeah, so we just like try and go for broke here? Try and get in with something, I suppose? I don't think that there's any chance that we win now. They just have too many good creatures, too many good defensive creatures right now, but... No, let's at least... Thundering Raiju has haste. Even the -2/-2 board sweeper doesn't really help us now. Plus it kills our Silver Fur Master, so that would be bad. Rough spot right now. Sadly, I don't think that attacking really does much for us here. And we don't have any ninjutsu cards in, so we can't ninjutsu anything in to try and do something. So we're just going to have to withstand an onslaught and hope for the best. Alright, so how do we block? So that's going to get way too much value. I think we have to double block the Springleaf Avenger, block him with a bunch of stuff, and kill him. Then kill you. Then we chump here. Does that have trample? It does not. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and kill Springleaf Avenger, but they kill all of our 3 guys. We have the Shadow Walker left over. And then we need to hope for a removal spell to deal with the Walking Skyscraper. While it's tapped still. So need the removal spell or bust to stay in the game here, and that's not. Sadly, that's not it. And they don't even have many creatures in their graveyard right now, so this thing's not going to be a very good attacker. I don't know, it's kind of delaying the inevitable here. Well, we'll keep up Disruption Protocol, see if we can hold out for another turn. See if we draw our removal spell that can kill the Walking Skyscraper. Okay, well, I think that's game. We can still counter the spell, obviously, but they get the +1/+1 counter still, so... Oh, it does have trample. I'm an idiot. I did not read the card. I don't do a good job of reading cards, you guys. Sorry. I thought I read this and I thought it didn't say that it had trample, but I guess it does, and I just didn't realize it before, and so that influenced my blocks a bit more. I think it didn't have trample, so yeah, so we have to double block here, and I think we're still dead, even no matter what we do next turn, so... Even if we draw removal, I think we're still dead. Yep, we're dead. Yippee! Look at me! Good game! Alright, well, I mean, we had a good run. I mean, it wasn't even the best deck I think we could have built for the ninja deck, but it was still a fun deck, and I like ninjas, and I like the theme of ninjas too, and going around and being sneaky and doing like Metal Gear Solid things, or Splinter Cell things, doing the stealthy things, or Ninja Gaiden things. So, still a fun deck. I enjoyed it. I am happy that we were able to win one of our games even after we ended up starting with 4 cards in our opening hand, so that was quite fun. I did not think I could ever have that happen, where I mulliganed down the 4 cards in my opening hand and I still end up winning. Let's open some Kamigawa packs for the sort of legacy card packs here and see what we get. There's the Ishin I was talking about. This is the legendary samurai creature that I talked about in my previous samurai draft that I did for Kamigawa. It's a legendary samurai that's 3 colors, so you have to kind of splash for it in red-white and have some black mana to be able to splash for it. But it can potentially be very strong. It's only 3 mana. 3/4 baseline is still good. And then if you have some strong samurai cards, if the attack into, just with 1 creature synergies, you can go ahead and have those trigger another time and just do a whole bunch of awesome stuff with it. So for a build around, this is the best card for at least for the samurai deck. Oni Cult Anvil, though, is more reliable. It's only 2 colors, and it's also great for the artifact deck. You can just drain opponents out with it. So this is also probably stronger than Ishin. Ishin is more fun, but Oni Cult Anvil is stronger, and it's easier to play because it's only 2 mana. And it's also only 2 colors, I would say. Flame Discharge is also great. Iganjo Exemplar. We saw in the Samurai deck that without it, there's, it's not a great Samurai deck unless you have 1 or 2 of these at the very least. Twisted Embrace is some excellent removal, and it also modifies to the modified decks, and it makes a creature bigger. Is enchantments on the field, so for the enchantment decks that can, make things like Sky Blessed Samurai cheaper, this is another enchantment. And then Befriending the Moss, another enchantment card that gets some value for going over the top and trying to win. It's like a curve topper for aggro cards and decks. So yeah, this is a pretty good pack. I'd probably take Oni Cult Anvil. Flame Discharge, though, is a very good removal as well. Next pack here, what do we open up? Another really good pack. Generous Visitor, as we saw for that enchantment deck, is very, very good, especially since it's only 1 mana. You can easily curve into this, or you can draw it later and play it for cheap. And then Reality Chip. We didn't see this in any of our games the past 2 decks that I've played on here for the drafts, but it's a very good card. I've seen it played in some constructed decks, especially for things like Brawl decks where you can only play one card of each card or one copy of each card. It's a very good card that can get you lots of good, again, looking at the top of your library gives you information, and then you can just play and cast spells basically from the top of your library. So it's like a semi-form of card advantage and information, so that's very good, and it's a good blocker. Then the Sorry Captain was great for our Samurai deck. We could get in for some strong creatures, but unfortunately it didn't work out for our Samurai deck, but this is very good aggressive creature to pump up a creature that has, say, Trample, for example. If you can give a creature Trample, you can just get in over the top and kill your opponent. And then Unstoppable Ogre, halfway decent artifact, but it's sort of filler card. I would probably take Generous Visitor here over the Asari Captain, but this is just based off of strength of the card. I still like the Samurai deck a lot, but the green-white enchantment deck, very strong with this in hand, so I love that Generous Visitor card. And then here, March of Wretched Sorrow. That's another one of the March cards that's in the set. This is the black version. You also have like the white version, the red version, and then the blue version we faced a couple of times that phased creatures out. This one, on the other hand, will deal damage to a creature, so it's like removal, and then you gain life from it. So it's very good if you're in like a constructed cleric deck with like life gain synergies in black-white, for example. But very good in limited as well. Just very good all-around removal. You can discard cards that you don't need to get rid of something as soon as possible. Reinforced Ronin. I love this card too. It's very, very good in both the Samurai and the Artifact type decks, and red is usually a very artifact-heavy sort of color in this format. There's lots of artifacts in general in this format, but I would say that Reinforced Ronin is one of the better artifact cards because it's a very low mana, and you can keep on pumping up things based on putting out an artifact onto the field that's a non-token. So I like this card as well. And then there's, again, Twisted Embrace, great removal. I would probably go with the Reinforced Ronin because it's a very good build around and is strong in several deck types. So I kind of love this card. Both Reinforced Ronin and March of Wretched Sorrow would do well in the same deck, though, in like red-black sacrifice artifacts deck. So final pack for the Kamigawa one. Ooh, Satsuki or Satsuki, the Living Lore. So this is a build-around type card for the green-white enchantment deck. I'm not sure if I would first pick it, but if it was in Pack 2 or Pack 3 and I was building green-white enchantments, you could definitely make this thing work for some good value there. Leech Gauntlet's great for any of the artifact-heavy decks, so also it equips, and you can equip it to a big creature and get lots of lifelink out of it, so pretty all-around good card. Voltage Surge is good removal here. Also very good in red-black artifacts, like with the Leech Gauntlet, for example. Mukutai Ambusher, good for ninjas and artifact decks. And then Bloodfall Caves is good for fixing. So I think I would probably take Essence Capture is here too, but it's kind of like an irrelevant sort of counterspell. Like, counterspell magic isn't that common to take in the draft format unless it's like a filler card. So I wouldn't first pick this at all. I'd probably take the Leech Gauntlet since it can fit into some pretty good decks, and lifelink is pretty strong to attach to a big creature. Voltage Surge, though, is very good and would want to be in similar decks to Leech Gauntlet, so you can't go wrong with either of those first pick. But I think I'd go with the Leech Gauntlet there. And then the Brothers War, which I've seen some like drafts and stuff for, so I'm vaguely, somewhat familiar with the archetypes here and the cards. So these, which one I pick? Brotherhood's End looks like it's removal, and you can choose one, so you can destroy a bunch of artifacts, or you can kill a creature, or each creature in each planeswalker. Okay. So it's like a board sweeper that can also destroy artifacts in case your opponent has a bunch of artifacts out. Okay. If nothing else, this is at minimum, it's a good sideboard card in best of 3 in case your opponent plays a bunch of artifacts. Springleaf Drum, and this is like a rampy type card. Alright, that's pretty good. And it fixes as well. This figure, some cheap removal, I think, and a combat trick. Race to the Ground is like a sideboard card. Lauren is interesting. And from what I remember of the Brothers War format, there's lots of like, you get more commons, uncommon, or you get more uncommons and rares in each pack to choose from. It's less like commons that are available. It's more uncommons and rares compared to most formats. So you have more chances to get some of the good stuff. So that's why you have another uncommon here in this spot. Machine over matter. Return target. All right, so it's like a sort of combat tricks, semi sort of return target, permanent to its owner's hand. Okay. Lauren or the legendary creature. So this is like a good build around, but I think that like Springleaf Drum could go into any deck, and it's an artifact, and I think artifacts are a big heavy theme in the Brothers War. So this fixes ramps, does a bunch of stuff. So I'd probably take the Springleaf Drum for being able to build around something like ramping into big stuff. So, yep, that's what I would pick there. All right, well, I thank everyone for watching. I'm glad that we got to see a bit of a winner of a deck. We went 5-3 with the black-blue ninja deck, and, I had a lot of fun. So I hope everyone joins me next time, and I hope that, again, everyone has a very good weekend. And as always, take care.